Sonic the Hedgehog is a beloved franchise with a lot of baggage.
Meow?
After Paramount Pictures delayed the movie to fix Sonic's design, this franchise took off at supersonic speed. The two films are massive hits, and the upcoming third film is one of the most anticipated sequels of the year. But for me, the humor is just a little too, how do you do, fellow kids, for my taste. But even then, I can't deny how popular these films are. So with the release of Sonic's first TV show spin-off centered on Knuckles, I don't think anyone was expecting this.
This soup, I've never seen balls so plump and swollen with flavor.
If you are a die-hard fan of this franchise, you're probably going to enjoy this series. But some episodes will make you wonder, why did they even make this show? The number one complaint about the Knuckles TV show is that Knuckles is barely in it, and the less screen time Knuckles has, coincidentally, the worse the show gets.
What's that beeping? That can't be good. Wonder what that was. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, my God!
But all of this builds up to episode 4, which is the only episode without Knuckles. And I have to be completely honest, it's kind of genius. If you are someone who loved how Sonic the Hedgehog 2 embraced the video game aspects of the franchise, then you're probably gonna hate this episode. But underneath the random insanity, there's some genuinely incredible direction for such a dumb idea. The Knuckles TV show suffers from the same problems that made the Transformers movies so weird, and it's the inclusion of unlikable human characters. And for this episode, it's all about Knuckles' new best friend named Wade. Hi, I'm your host Rob, and on this episode of Atomic Vision, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to go into overdrive for the worst episode of Knuckles. Usually it doesn't matter if a show has multiple directors because TV shows are made differently than movies. But with the Knuckles show, I noticed a reoccurring thing where the style kept changing each episode. Episode 1 is directed by Jeff Fowler, who made the Sonic movies. And you've guessed it, his episode feels just like the movies. But the rest of the show goes up and down in quality based on whether it's a first-time director or a seasoned one. So what makes the worst episode so odd is that Jorma Taccone directed it, and if you don't recognize who that is, you've probably seen him before. He is a member of The Lonely Island from Saturday Night Live, and has directed movies like Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping, and MacGruber. He's also starred in movies like Hot Rod, and has voiced Green Goblin and Vulture in the Spider-Verse movies.
It's not after me.
Is that Green Goblin?
Why won't you quit? Ciao, ragazzi.
And what makes this even crazier is that Jorma's friend and fellow Lonely Island member, Akiva Schaffer, directed the Chip and Dale movie for Disney, guest starring you-know-who.
Ugly Sonic, that's the spirit.
And they'll like me for who I am. Not like last time when the internet got one look at my human teeth and burned the place down.
So when it comes to episode 4, we are dealing with a director who knows how to be funny. And if I'm being honest with myself, the episode is pretty great for how bad this idea is. Episode 4 begins with Wade being kidnapped, and this entire plotline is absolutely ridiculous.
You gonna rescue him?
No.
Knuckles refuses to help Wade because he must find the power within and stand up for himself for once. So Wade goes through a hero's journey while passed out in an electrocuted cage. In his dreams, Wade goes to the afterlife and meets Knuckles' mentor, who's now a ghost for some reason. Again, nothing makes sense here, and heaven is apparently a bowling alley, so your guess is as good as mine. Here, Wade confronts his kidnapper and learns to fight on his own by reliving Knuckles' origin story through... Wait, am I getting this right? A rock opera?
On a glorious quest. Hello, Wade.
Jack?
For glory.
What?
From the way the cinematography is composed, how the lighting is staged, and the low-budget Broadway show-esque decorations are created, this episode is honestly pretty impressive. Again, for how dumb this all is. If you've never seen Hot Rod or Popstar, The Lonely Island's style of humor is purposely bad dialogue, performed with total sincerity and full commitment. I mean, look at this scene where a guy gets dumped by his girlfriend.
Goodbye.
Babe, wait. Babe, wait. Babe, wait. Babe. Babe, wait. Babe. 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 Babe, wait. Babe, no. Babe, no. Babe, no. Babe. Babe.
So in episode 4, the acting and direction is as silly as an SNL sketch, and even if the jokes are bad, the way it is performed is hysterical.
Do you believe in love? Take it, Susie's dad!
You didn't tell me you were gonna throw it.
And what really won me over was how this episode wraps up, as Wade frees himself doing what any normal person can do. He then challenges his kidnapper to a duel. That's right, this entire episode was just an excuse to be a spiritual sequel to Hot Rod, and I know that Sonic fans were probably really upset, but since Hot Rod is one of my favorite comedies ever, this was a wonderful surprise.
These blades were forged by Atari Hanzo himself. The sharpest, strongest blades on Earth. Great!
Wade jousts with his kidnapper and succeeds, albeit in the dumbest way possible.
Looking for this?
And when he returns home, Knuckles knows that Wade is a champion, so they ride off into the sunset, heading toward their grand finale. This show is not for me, but this episode is everything I love about Hot Rod and Popstar, and I cannot deny that Knuckles' worst episode is actually kinda awesome. If you are a fan of movies like Anchorman, Zoolander, or The Mask, look beyond how inaccurate this is as a Sonic spin-off, and embrace the corny nature of just this episode.
Father, you can't leave me.
I won't, son! I never...
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode of Atomic Vision, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.
I am aware of the effect I have on women.
Hey, Nux. How you holding up, buddy?
Furlington Boat Factory.
I'll miss you, man.